because that's what the group has been so far. It is match day number 4. Ukraine and Lithuania kicking things off here in Tel Aviv, in beautiful Tel Aviv Arena. Carlin Gay, Mark Clark on hand as we see the Lithuanian fans getting set to take in this action. And they started off the tournament with a loss. Now have the opportunity to finish at the top of the table in the tournament as we take a look at today's schedule with Lithuania taking on Ukraine, Italy and Germany in the big game right there, game 2, and of course Israel and Georgia. Everyone has everything to play for right now.
Well, isn't this the beauty of EuroBasket though, because they've got such great competitive competition between these teams that as you see this Group B standings, no one has got a 0 in the win column. Everyone still has a chance to win. Georgia, after an opening day win when they thought they were already on the way to Istanbul, have got a must-win game tonight. Whoever wins out of Italy and Germany progress, but then like what happens to the loser, there's so many permutations. It's what makes EuroBasket such a great tournament, because the continent is so competitive, so many great players, and the margins are just so small.
Yeah, big time small, and especially for the two teams that we talked about, Italy and Germany, who will be playing each other a little later on today. Let's talk about this game for a second here, as Lithuania, the Green Machine, after dropping the first game, an emotional loss against Georgia, losing by 2, most thought that, you know what, they would be okay, and so far they've proven that.
Well, they've got that pedigree of being a tournament team. We mentioned that day 1. Are you a tournament team where you can come in, day out, and produce? And they're very deep. So Coach Adamaitis has lots of people that he can call on in a rotation. He's even found a way to rest Valanciunas. He's not really had a performance out of Montejunas yet. So he's got a lot of things that he has in terms of options to change things during the game. And he's got big-time experience, a lot of EuroLeague, Champions League experience on a regular basis, topped off by some NBA absolute stars. I mean, Kuzminskas for me has been the difference maker for this team compared to what he was like 2 years ago. He has grown into a man in the last 2 seasons.
He absolutely has. We talk about the big man that Lithuania has. We'll talk a little bit about the guard play that they've gotten so far in this tournament as we take a look at the Ukraine, who surprised everyone with a huge win yesterday against Georgia, and they came out with the intent to win right off the opening tip.
Well, that's a great way. That's a great way to word it. An intent to win, because we would question, I think, did they have the intent to win in games 1 and 2? Because and they were faced with some adversity. Their captain was injured, wasn't even at the game, and even though we felt they were better with Pastovi playing a lot of minutes, they found a hero in Pastovi, but even more so, Lukashov had an absolute career night as a double-double with assists and points. He was phenomenal. They were phenomenal. They're going to have some positive energy coming into this game.
They absolutely are. We will pause now for the national anthems for these two countries and then be back with the opening tip here on match day 4.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand and rise for the national anthem. Lithuania national anthem.
Well, here we go, match day 4 here in Group B. The group is wide open. Every team still with an opportunity to make it to Istanbul and the knockout stage as we take a look at Lithuania and Ukraine introducing each other for the first time, and the 3 officials who will have the task of keeping this game in check.
Well, as we said before, you're not refereeing at the EuroBasket unless you're one of the best officials from your country and across your continent. And added now, you get that sharing of officials across regions, which I think is a great development. Well, it's a lot more consistency in officiating across the world. Gonna get a look at this Lithuanian roster. 5 of these guys played in the 1-point win in the group stage 2 years ago. That tells you about the depth of Lithuanian basketball in the way that they can just call upon resources from so many different clubs and from so many great leagues. Pretty much the start, well, 4 of the 5 that normally have started the most of the games. Javicius gets a start. He hasn't started every game, but Kalanides is the man who he has decided to leave. Machulis is the experienced veteran on this group as well. Those 2 together have been in this Lithuanian national team for so many years, but it's the depth off the bench that has been the incredible strength of this team, and the fact they're an experienced tournament team. This Ukrainian lineup, well, the captain, Vaslav Platsov, is in uniform. Looks like he's going to play the 2'13" center, the 30-year-old. He was here 2 years ago in EuroBasket. 7 of these guys were in that 1-point heartbreak loss. And the biggest difference for this Ukrainian team, no naturalized player, whereas in the Randell was there last time. And they've got contributions, and I think you were right when you said Krastov has to start because he'll be warm, stretched. So to not start him, you risk the tightening up of that back as this game develops.
He missed the previous game. Their only win so far in this tournament with a back injury. Wasn't even in a kit. As we take a look at these spotlight players, Artem Postovi has been phenomenal. Kuzminskas has been red hot from 3.
Well, Coach Messina said in his press conference after Lithuania beat Italy that Kuzminskas was the guy that really did become the difference maker, especially as Nikola Meli was injured. He made huge shots to spark a Lithuanian run. And he made the point. He's been in the NBA. He's grown up. He's now a seasoned pro at the highest level. Can't say enough about Pustovi, though. Just look at his numbers. You don't need us to say what an impact he's had. And it's not just his numbers. He changes so many shots as well.
Yeah, he had one sequence where he blocked his shot, ran the floor, beat everyone down the floor, and caught an alley-oop, which was terrific. And that was really the story of the game yesterday. It was just effort. They outplayed Georgia just by sheer effort and were able to come away with their first win. They're going to have to match Lithuania's size and effort and toughness. They're not going to surprise Lithuania today. Lithuania did get kind of surprised in game 1 against Georgia. Didn't really match Georgia's output. And so far, they've started off games a lot better than they had in that first game.
Absolutely right. And I think it's one of those things, Ukraine and Lithuania played 6 times in competitive play. And it's not like the Lithuanians have rolled them over. It's a 4-2 split. And the Ukraine has always been a big team. They've always been able to compete on the inside. And they can go size for size. Normally they've gone NBA experience size for size. And so they can match them that way. And I think if, Mashula's out there starting, but if Lukashov can have anywhere near the game he had the other day, he could be the X factor for the Ukrainian lineup. Quite surprised that Mashula comes back into the starting lineup after the other game.
Lithuania in white will go from left to right on your screen. Check that. Lithuania in the dark green will go from right to left on your screen. Ukraine from left to right in the white jerseys. And the Green Machines start off with the basketball. And to start this tournament, it's kind of feeling like this crowd is growing in size. The supporters, Lithuania making a travel here to Tel Aviv. You're going to hear them all game long. They will not be quiet at all. Up top, Valanciunas could not slam it home. Mashula pulls down the rebound early on. This is Krastov. He was out with the back injury in game 2. Let's see how his back works in this one. No lift on that shot at all.
Well, you got to really take your hat off to him, because a back problem is one of those things you can't carry. You've got it. You're really going to have to play through the pain.
There's one game that's going to test that, is the physicality in this one. He's going up against Maniunas and Valanciunas, 2 guys that can really lay the lumber.
but it's a do-or-die moment for Ukraine. You know, if they lose today, there is a way they could still possibly make it, but it's a big ask.
Mashulis inside. Can't make the layup. Lithuania dodge a bullet there after falling asleep defensively. As you said, the last time these two teams played, it was a one-point game in the group stage of 2015 EuroBasket. Hoping for another thriller today. Konya with 3 on the clock. Looks up, takes a 2. Indeed!
Well, they had the switch, the mismatch. He didn't really fancy going against Valanciunas, but he got the space to get the shot away.
Kolchenko a little too aggressive on Maniunas. Picks up his first. Kornienko, excuse me. Take a look at that. Konya 2.
There's not a lot Valanciunas can do, is he? He's all over him. He's got a hand up. Maybe the hand was a little slow, so it meant he could get a good side of the hoop, but it was pretty tight.
Bottom line, if you're going to get that type of shot late in the shot clock, you'll take it every time. Kelnidis driving. Drop off. Valanciunas punches it in. He's been an absolute monster in and around the offensive rim. Kornienko driving on Mashulis. Left-hand push shot. Hit back iron. Fresh 14, though, for the Ukraine. Mashula for 3. In and out. Kornienko underneath. Can't follow. Well, if Ukraine can get that offensive effort, they may stay close in this game.
It's a great start for them on the glass. That's 2 offensive rebounds. I didn't have them down for any against this size of lineup. But they played very actively.
Count it, and the foul. Maniunas with the floater, and he'll go to the line for one more. Kraftsov picking up the fouls. Take a look at the last play with Valanciunas punching it in.
See, Kraftsov looks pretty active through most of this game so far. He may not have that explosiveness that you picked up when he tried to take the jump hook, but he's slow in that whole phase behind Maniunas, and that's something they never were the other night. He's got lots of strengths and attributes, but maybe they're not best suited with this lineup.
How long do they stay with him when they have Artem Postovi, who's had quite the tournament so far, and there he picks up 2 fouls now, does Kraftsov. So now you probably have to go to Postovi out of necessity, more so than trying to want to ease him into the game.
It's a little harsh. I mean, let's have a look.
Oh, boy. That's a play on. Postovi will come off the bench. He'll be in at the next whistle. Kelnidis driving right by Mashula.
Wow, well, having said Kraftsov was active, he was non-existent on that show. He just made it hard. It was almost became a double screen.
There he is underneath. Don't know how he got that shot up, but it wasn't able to fall. And here's Mashulis to Kelnidis the other way. 7-2 early on for Lithuania. Maniunas, 9-2. And an early timeout here for the Ukraine. Lithuania looking to punch their ticket on the road to Istanbul.
Well, the Ukraine had to take the timeout, and I think while there's the temptation, and they actually succumbed to play Kraftsov, no activity. Just the lack of a show on the ball screen really did demonstrate that. Kelnidis just turned the corner and laid it up, and it looks like the rule is a hard show. And if he doesn't hard show, the whole defense is in the wrong place. So you give him the credit for wanting to go out there and play, but it doesn't look to me as though he's got the physicality and the body to actually do the job today. And that means that, you know, the Ukraine have started with a 9-2 disadvantage, and you can say what a great effort by him, but sometimes you got to put your hand up and say it ain't right. And who knows, did he make the call Did the medical staff make the call? Did the coach make the call? It'll be an interesting question to ask. But it's a disappointing start for Ukraine, and the positivity of the last game may have just evaporated in that first 3.5 minutes. 3 minutes, rather.
Well, Artem Postovi just checked in as we see Maniunas with 5 early points. Don't want to put all the blame on Krastov because the rest of the team's energy has been flat as well. Let's see if that changes now with the Energizer Bunny Postovi, number 23 in white, on the floor now. Kolchenko also checks into the game. Here he is on the drive. That shot was tough. Could not draw iron. And here comes Lithuania. Kalnitis waiting for Mashulis to get free. Maniunas underneath, and Kolchenko hit him before he caught the ball. Foul on the ground. Shot clock was set back to 14.
Well, this is the Lithuania have gone with the Maniunas and Valanciunas starting lineup consistently after the first game, where Maniunas had only just arrived on the day. And this is the first time it's looked very effective. They're getting a lot of action on the inside, and Maniunas can extend the floor.
Sure can. Valanciunas looking to attack Postovi. Got him up in the air, but he walked. No basket, travel before.
But straight away, even though I'm not sure it was a travel, I'm not going to get a look at it.
Oh,
yeah. Gee, what's he complaining about? But again, Postovi's extra length and activity just makes you do something else, makes you make a second move.
Lipovi into the game for the first time here. Attacking right at the 10, counted and a foul. I was just about to say, when he's aggressive, the Ukraine are a completely different offensive team.
Well, we saw that in the win last game, where he took the ball at St. Galia. He was very strong, and you've got to play him honest because he can shoot the basketball. He's just got the one on Valanciunas. That's got to give them the confidence. Those two guys were very good in the last game. And coaches have all sorts of reasons to go with lineups, and I'm sure they're more than valid, but the Mashulis start, the Krabstov start, the lack of Lipovi doesn't appear to have worked on this occasion for the Ukraine.
There's Juskevich just checking into the game. He's been solid coming off the bench for Lithuania.
Difference maker in the last game, where he had 20 points against Italy. I didn't have him down for a 20-point a game man at all, and he shot the ball so well in tough situations.
You brought up the question before the tournament started, would Lithuania have enough in the backcourt? So far through games, they've shown that they do as they turn it over. Mashula driving in, nice layup.
Well, the Ukrainians are one of the most effective teams on points off turnovers. I mean, they're getting 20 a game off turnovers, which is a ridiculous high number.
It really is. Kalnitis 3, no good, pulled down by Postovi. Lipovi going to work. Kornienko, that's straight on 3. Too strong. Lipovi pulls down the rebound. Konyev sets the feet. 3. No good. And another offensive rebound for the Ukraine. Can they pay off with a shot? No. 0 for 3 on that trip. But the activity on the glass is there.
And having said that the two Lithuanian twin towers was effective, they're just being outmaneuvered at the moment. It's not about physicality. They're not quick enough and putting bodies on people on the glass.
Kalnitis. Mashulis looks at the clock. He has 5 to shoot. Kalnitis slicing the D inside. Mashulis floater is good. Good patience shown by Mashulis early on. He had checked the clock, saw 6 seconds, but didn't panic at all. 11-6 to score, 4:25 to go here in the first quarter. Lipovi turning, falling away, hits. Looks a different player than the first 2 games.
Absolutely. Well, you know, players, it doesn't matter how experienced you are, you get some confidence going, you don't second guess yourself. That's what seems to have happened with him.
Kalnitis for 3. Knocks it down. He could hit that shot, maybe free up some space for the bigs to go to work later on in the game. Mashula, that's a 3, no good. Tapped up by Kornienko into the hands of Kalnitis. Kalnitis looking to turn the corner. Inside, Moniunas, floater again! Moniunas now having his best start to the tournament so far, 7 on the night.
It's great touch, isn't it? I mean, it's not one of those, this is how you're supposed to shoot that jump shot, but Franciscus from Greece almost trademarked it, but then so many other guys are picking that option up. It's a very quick release, tough to actually get a hand on it.
Mashula with Moniunas on him, that's a 2. No good. Again, the offensive rebound by the Ukraine. Kornienko, offensive foul. Mashula's caught one in the chops. And that's 2 quick fouls now for Kornienko. Here's the replay.
Well, this is where they start to wear you out, Lithuania, because they bring in Kuzmiskas off the bench. They go deep on the bench. They've already got 8 guys in the game, and we're only like 8 minutes in.
Grigonis also onto the floor for the first time as Valanciunas looks to go to work on Pastovi. Pastovi did a good job of staying down, but Valanciunas just outworking him on the glass.
He's rebounded almost sometimes. I think he just needs a little bit more composure on the finish. He's rebounded it before he's released it.
Yeah.
That's okay when you come up with the offensive rebound, but just make the first one.
Mashula gave it away.
Why not throw it up there?
We've seen that play connect and work for them. That time, I guess, getting a little too cute. Here's Kuzminskis. He's been hot from 3. Looking for Valanciunas. Valanciunas shows the up fake. Pastovi backs off and invites him to shoot. Valanciunas, nice spin! And throws it down! Woo! That's just NBA showing you some skill.
Well, Pastovi just got schooled. Let's say it no more than that. What a tremendous move by Valanciunas, but where was the help? You know, it's like, where's he going to force him? Because surely they don't think Pustovi's going to go one-on-one with Valanciunas for the game, because he's gone on the offensive boards for 2, then he does that. And he's going to throw that down. Pustovanov on the far side of the floor is like, hey, I don't want to get involved in that.
Not a chance. Lukashov into the game for the first time here. Number 7 in white. Lipovi watched by Grigonis. There's Pastovi. He shows the range. That was pure.
Wow, he just got it in rhythm, didn't he? It's that decisiveness, because when you're shooting those shots in drills, you don't think, should I, shouldn't I? So he gets in rhythm, literally just squares up, knocks it down. They're milking this matchup. They're going to make Pustovi play defense.
If Valanciunas can hit that, that's going to be a tough matchup for Pastovi. 8 points for Valanciunas. You see him talking to himself back down on the floor. He's hyped up.
He's having a little conversation with Arvydas Sabonis, who's sitting right in the front row. And after the first conversation, I think he's gone 6 straight.
It's a good guy to have as a mentor, the Hall of Famer Arvydas Sabonis. You see the save there for Valanciunas. Jovnaves, no one stopped the basketball, but he couldn't finish the layup. Here's Pastovi, the 7-foot point guard. Looking for some help, but he finds it. Lipovi uses the Pastovi screen, and an offensive foul, clearly.
I mean, you know what he's trying to do. He's just trying to get him on his back, but he actually literally jumped straight back into him. He initiated all the contact. Let's take a look. He comes back in and looks for him. Ooh, not exactly subtle. Tell you what it shows, this Ukrainian team, they're maybe down 12. 14. It does show they're trying to physically play, which they weren't in the first couple of games.
There you see Arvydas Sabonis, and as you said, Valanciunas continues to have that discussion with him, giving him reason to cheer. Shot clock turned off. Pastovi extends the range for 3. That's an air ball.
I think that tells you who's winning that battle. In that Pastovi, one of the games of his life internationally, you know, well, 2 nights ago, he hasn't touched it in the keyway.
Banked in by Kuzminskis at the buzzer. We said he was hot. He continues to be as hot as a blowtorch as we end the first quarter on a buzzer beater. 27-10, Lithuania in front here in Tel Aviv. See the replay again. Kuzminskis, just did get it off. Well, a reminder, you can join us in conversation on social media with the hashtag EuroBasket 2017 and keep up to date with all the scores and stats with the official FIBA EuroBasket app. Download it now in your Android or iOS store. A look at some of the highlights from the first quarter. And you're going to see a lot of Lithuanian highlights as they have a 17-point lead in the first break. Valanciunas beginning to take over down low.
This has been the most impressive he's been, because we've always had this issue that Lithuania can't find him. Well, they went straight to him. They led by 9, and they've gone on this 8-0 run to open it out to a 17-point lead on the back of his literally 3 backs, straight in a row, hoops inside and a jump shot, and then Kuzminskis makes the buzzer beater. This is the rebound one where he just goes after it, and that's what he's literally earns his money doing, just being great at stuff like that. And above the ring, he's as good as anybody. But he's playing like an NBA star at the moment. This is the best, by far, his best game in the tournament.
He's on the bench right now for a rest. Let's see how they do without him with a 17-point advantage. Lukashov driving in, that's a 2, he got fouled. Kevicius picks up his first foul. That was actually away from the basketball. So the shot clock will reset back to 14, and it'll be a Ukrainian inbound. This is Zaitsev going to work on Kuzminskis. Backs him all the way down, finds the sweet spot but can't hit.
There's too many dribbles to get there. Everything's a little bit too pressurized.
Dragonis using the Gudaitis screen and then tried to find him on the roll and threw it out of bounds.
Interesting to see if the Ukraine, they don't have to panic. I know they're down 17, but with Valanciunas out the game, with Moniunas out the game, Pustovi could become a factor in this period of the time. They've just got to use when he has to miss the advantage, the advantage in size and a little bit of quickness. But let's not forget, Gudaitis has had a marvelous tournament so far, yes, coming off the bench. It's not as if they're bringing in someone just to spell someone. The guy has pedigree, playing for, Liptus Ritas in Lithuania.
And he's big and he's active. There's Pustovi. Lukashov driving in, throws it up off glass. Pustovi there to clean it up.
And there's your scenario without Valanciunas, just because he'd have challenged and then really gone after the rebound.
The offensive glass has been kind right now for Lithuania. They continue to crash the offensive boards. They had 5 in the first quarter, now have 6. Kevicius at 3, no good. Last touch by Lithuania will be the Ukraine basketball. Pace is so important for the Ukraine. When they get out and play with a sense of tempo, they seem to have a lot easier time in the half court. But this feels like a Lithuanian pace right now. Yeah. They need to change that.
Well, Lithuania have been actually, they've been coughing the ball up a fair amount. They're averaging 15 turnovers a game, and that's when, as you said earlier on, the Ukraine are very effective.
Pustovi on the cleanup. 2 times in a row, he's been able to crash the offensive boards. and benefited from it. 6 points for that man right there. Lithuania takes time out here. 8 minutes, 19 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Well, Pustovi doesn't get a sniff, does he, when he's in the game with Valanciunas? So much so that he settles for a mid-range jump shot and then a three. He leaves the game and he's on the glass 2 consecutive times. He's just looks a huge presence on the inside because he just loosens up a little bit and fills the middle. And the Ukraine, it is one of those situations for me where it's quite interesting where, yeah, Lithuania was so strong in the first quarter. But if that momentum gets broken, and even if it is just Valanciunas being out of the game, then Ukraine begin to get confident. Lukashov starts to become a factor. They start to knock down more shots because they've shot poorly so far in the game. And they've shot late in shot clocks and poorly. Pustovi, as he's done in the time he's been on the floor in every single game, just gives them just something he uniquely gives the team. No one else can do that for this Ukrainian lineup.
The energy he provides in the game period, no matter what. Like 17-5 right now for the tournament, 6-4 right now in this game. But he started in the last game, the game they won against Georgia, and he provided that same energy right from the get-go, and there was a completely different theme from the opening tip. Now comes into the game, and you see how, I guess, the energy has changed.
Well, they've got that lineup with Bobrov in the lineup. They're a little smaller, Bostonov on off, they're big enough, but they're a little quicker, and they play much more actively with this lineup on the floor.
Able to switch screens, as you saw right there. Lipovi watching Kuzminskis with 5 on the clock to shoot. Kuzminskis puts it on the floor, gives it inside. Gudaitis able to knock down in the lane.
But the good thing for Ukraine on that, they made Lithuania do something extra. Gudaitis had to make a nice cut and shoot the ball over the 7-footer.
Pustovi inside, crushing the orange.
So I think Valanciunas just gets the call. That's okay, that's been his moment. He's not getting any more. Interesting to see how Pustovi reacts with Valanciunas coming back in.
Offensive foul they call on Gudaitis. Hooking Lipovi there. Pustovi has the last 6 points for the Ukraine.
It's now Valanciunas is back and Kalninas is back. Before then, not a lot of offense on the floor. Okay, they're good players. They're very good players. In relation to what Lithuania has, that was probably one of their less potent threats.
Nice block by Yulnavas, but again, another offensive board for Ukraine. A 3 no good, and they track it down again. Fresh 24 for them. Pustovi inside on the drive, right at Valanciunas.
It's amazing what you start to get it ticking over. Now he's gone to 10 points. When Valanciunas left the game, he had 2.
Chipping away are the Ukraine. Kuzminskis. Kalnitas back to Kuzminskis, sets for 3. Too strong there. Bobrov picks up the rebound. Look at the pace now, the Ukraine trying to run a little bit, but a good job of getting back in transition by the Green Machine. Lipovi and Pustovi, 2-man game again. Lipovi floats in. Another offensive board for the Ukrainers. Pustovi, he can't miss.
What is this? Sums this game up. The game of runs, a game of momentum swings. Ukraine are just in a different space now. So much quicker, so much more active.
As you see there with the defense, Pustovi comes away with the theft, and they want to run out in front. It's a 3, Pustovi. Get every side of the ring and then fall.
That's how they get their 20 points off turnovers. They just do not back it out. They've got the shot, doing a tremendous job in transition now.
Valanciunas tripped up there as he's on his way to the ring. Kolchenko waiting to check in for Lipovi. As you see Pustovi going to work again.
That's a 12-2 start to this quarter. You know, as soon as it is such fine margins. Lithuania doing such a good job. Everything was in rhythm. Everything is how they wanted it. They took the foot off the pedal with the rotation. Ukraine believe they can play, and Pustovi has 12 in no time.
Vilnavas to Kelnidis. Kelnidis driving. Lukashov doing a good job of staying in front of him. Then got bumped with the Valanciunas screen. And Pistovi knocked that one off the rim as it was about to fall.
That's something else that's going to be difficult to see in the stats. Something else he changes.
Here he is. That's easy to see in the stats. He has not missed a shot. Pistovi, maybe Ukrainian for perfect right now. They are rolling 29-24. Ukraine trying to battle back.
And you mentioned earlier on when they run and they get their tempo high, they're fine. And all that's happening there is it's their tempo. They're not running a lot of sets. At the start of the game with Mashula and Krabstov, it was a little slow down, a little bump and grind in the post. This is when they're better. They're loose. They're free. It's someone's just taken the rein, the brakes off and said, just go and play. And that's all they're doing now. Lithuania have to slow them down. The best way they can slow them down, run it, get executed, give Valanciunas the ball, get inside, get on the glass, all those things they were doing. They've gone away from that. Ukraine are don't just say a step quicker, they're like 2-3 steps quicker, and it all starts and stops with that man.
He has been phenomenal. We've been sitting here talking about him all tournament long, and it's been a joy to watch because he's playing with a youthful joy to his game. Yeah. And if you're a young big man at home, just watching how you can affect the game. Yes, he's scoring, but he's doing so many other things, as you mentioned, that will not show up in the stat sheet.
Absolutely. And then everyone says, big guys will mature later. He's 25. He's got 10 years ahead of him if he stays healthy. Who knows where his journey might end.
Here's Kelnidis for 3. Indeed! Finally breaks the ice on that side of the court. Puts an end to what was a 14-2 run to start the second quarter. Lukashov finds Pistovi, steps up. That's too strong. And again, the Ukraine don't come away with that rebound, but they're on the glass.
Pistovi gets taken out to 16 feet because Valanciunas is in the game.
Krabstov's getting set to check back in. That will give Pistovi a chance to rest. We'll see how his back can handle the pressure after sitting for quite some time.
But Krabstov's has got to have seen this up close now. As they knock down the 3, it's like, let's run, let's be active. Don't wait for me, I'll get there. He's got to step into this rhythm. He can't come in and say, hey, it's my game now, I need a slow post.
Rodney's hitting the ground, Kolchenko picking himself up off the floor, and he actually gets called for the foul. Take a look at that last Lukashov 3. No one stopped the ball, and he stepped right into it and splashed it home. Kelnidis with the 3 that put a stop to a 14-2 run for the Ukraine. Backdoor cut. Shulis puts it home. But Stuznavov got beat on that. You see the 3-point percentage. Ukraine only 1 from 7 from 3. Krabstov comes into the game and turns it right over. Kelnidis. They tried to take a foul in the open court. Kelnidis open for 3 now. Lukashov tried to take that foul. It was play on. Krabstov picks it up underneath, gets men in the air, and then forces it up. He'll go to the line for 2.
That's a great sign for the Ukraine because Krabstov took off. He just didn't, he was not in that post-up mode. He took off. They missed him with a pass because Valanciunas got back quickly. But then he was active. It doesn't matter if his back means he can only do this for 3 minutes. It's better that than the performance he put on early on. Great sign for him. Great sign for the Ukraine. They're right back in this now.
Shooting into the end where the majority of Lithuanian supporters are there. Knocks down the first.
So if you're a Lithuanian fan, you get a workout. These guys just do not sit. Coaches talking about hands up and doing that. They just do not sit. They are 150% absolutely in this.
Unbelievable. Only type of scenes you get here at EuroBasket. It's all part of the fun. Lukashov, another offensive rebound for the Ukraine. Unable to cash in on that three-point attempt. And they go 1 from 8 from downtown. Eventually, those are going to start falling.
Yeah, their numbers are going to be better than that. 11 offensive rebounds to Lithuania's 1.
Mashulis can't hit the three, and look at them run again. Inside, Bobrov. Oh, they're going to call the offensive foul. It was a late call.
I was just about to say, hey, maybe he's gonna get an issue with a flop here.
Yeah, I thought they were waiting to see what the play turned out, and then give him the tee for simulation. But it was just a late call.
Well, we're far too far away to know how hard. But Monte Yunus is a big guy.
He is.
And it wasn't like it was a big move, and it wasn't like there was any extension on the arm. He didn't really dip the shoulder. A little bit of contact. That must be marginal. In fact, if he doesn't call it offensive, he has to call the flop.
Absolutely. Valanciunas watched by Krastov. Valanciunas bumping away. Foul on the floor. It's going to be on Krastov. That's his third. See if Coach Musin decides to leave him in the game.
Valanciunas got to be a little bit careful on the catch. Had his arm just holding all over Krastov. I don't like it being called, but they've called it a lot in this competition so far, where they do extend the arms.
They're trying to check Krastov with the 3 fouls, going to a 2-3 zone, and that will help get them out of that zone. Another 3-point bomb by Lithuania. Over and back is the call.
It may almost be worth the Ukraine taking the time now. Just take a timeout, just refocus, maybe get Postovi back in the game, just to go into the half, making sure they're in single digits, because then they're in a really positive place.
2:15 to go till half. They've battled back into this game after it looked as though it might run away from them. Valanciunas, that looked dangerous. Took the shot to the lower back as he went up for the alley-oop attempt. See the replay here.
It's almost that Postovanov knew he should have been there, didn't get there, and carried on going through him.
First free throw missed by Valanciunas. Konyev will check in for the Ukraine.
Have they taken a free throw already?
They have.
And they've subbed halfway through the free throw. I didn't think they could do that. unless something else has happened.
There's a discussion in front of...
I don't think they can sub. They can't sub halfway through. Valanciunas made it even more obvious by walking to the bench to dry his hands.
Right. Ukraine will have to wait for the next throw, and so will
I think they're on the wrong continent for that ability to do that.
That works in the NBA,
yeah.
But not here. Averaging 9 rebounds. He's 7 so far already today. Now the subs can come in on both sides. 10-point game. And the Ukraine will take that timeout that you asked for with 2:07 remaining to go here in the second quarter. Ukraine and Lithuania in a battle.
They'd almost lost that, and it's very easy to sit and say because Krastop's come back and have made a couple of other changes, but pretty much it is. They just get a bit slower. And defensive, it's not about strength, it's just not as active.
Right.
Not as active on the glass, not as... you saw a couple of steals because they rotated very well to stop the alternative, the pass to the corner. I think that's the only way they can play this Lithuanian team. I can't see them matching up like for like. If they match up like for like, they'll lose by 20 and think they've done okay. They've got it back to a manageable number. They've got 18-11 on this period, so they're down 10 with the ball. So they can't throw away that effort with a poor end to the half.
Let's take a look at some highlights from Jonas Valanciunas. He mentioned he had a discussion, or was having a discussion, with the Hall of Famer, Arvydas Sabonis, who was sitting courtside to our right. And it seemed to raise the level of his play.
Yeah.
Maybe he was challenged by the great Lithuanian big man.
Well, it almost looked like he was moaning a little bit, you know, I haven't got the board, and you almost got the impression Sabonis said, well, just go and get it then. It's, you know, don't tell me, go show.
He's shown for 11.7 rebounds here in this first half. Important minutes here for the Ukraine. How do they close the half? Down 10 at the moment. Mashula driving. That's a tough layup.
Wow. It's a little bit like the Ukraine started the game, a little bit slow in the half court, but he made a tough one there to tick it over. Really important.
Koniev watched by Mashulis. Mashulis inside. That's an air ball on a layup. Defense by Koniev. Mashula driving again with the floater. Got it up over everybody. Still after it. And Yaskevich just pulls it down.
I just don't, you can't keep making those plays. It's, if you have to work that hard with no pass and plenty of time on the shot clock, you shouldn't be taking it.
Valanciunas leaves for Yaskevich, who attacks. The kick out. That's a three. No good there.
Wow.
And Valanciunas pulls it down. Fouled. Almost hit the shot.
They've called it unsportsmanlike as well. That just tells you everything you need to know about Jonas Valanciunas. He had no right to get that rebound. Absolutely no right. Krastov had hands on it, position.
Ripped it right out of his hands with both hands, too.
And then bodies are falling off him. It's like one of those cartoon characters where someone's getting bounced off.
As you mentioned, the unsportsmanlike foul called there. And for those who don't really understand the rule, if you could explain it for them a little bit, it's not, I mean, if you're an NBA watcher, you're not used to seeing that call.
It's basically when you're not making a legitimate attempt to play the ball. So if you're like behind him and you reach over the top, you have no chance to get it. Now, you don't even have to foul hard. It's unsportsmanlike if you stop him doing it with an action that's not a legitimate action to get the ball. And you know, so behind is easy because you're coming over the shoulders and holding, and like that one, it was in the back. They can become dangerous too. So it's, you know, referees should go to coaching clinics and all those types of things. So, well, this is what we're teaching. This is how you're supposed to play defense. This is a little legitimate action. If it's not, it can be called unsportsmanlike anywhere on the floor now.
And we've seen it being called way away from the basket. That one was right underneath. An easy one, but we've seen one called on the other side of the floor. So referees have been consistent with that call this tournament so far.
I think it's great the way that they're basically trying to clean it up. They're trying to clean the game up.
Mashulis for three, no good. Koniev jumps too early and gives possession back to Lithuania at a fresh 14. Now 5 to shoot. And they'll send Valanciunas back to the line.
That's 4 seconds on a shot clock. Someone gets him on a hole where there's already other traffic around him. We've mentioned this about Ukraine earlier in the competition. They hurt themselves. They didn't hurt themselves in the last game. And I think it's a little bit, there's a freshness about certain combinations that they put on the floor. He's gone a little bit more back to the lineup he started with that gave them the problems earlier in the game.
First free throw knocked down for JV.
When Alexander Mashula has had a very, he's a very, very good player. And coming into this tournament, you expected him to start. But he's not having as good a tournament as Lukashov. And Lukashov's a little quicker, a little bit more, let's move the ball through the air. Mashula's very much almost traditional, I'm on the floor, run a pick and roll.
Here's Koniev. Valanciunas watching him. That's a tough cover for Jonas. Having to guard a smaller guy. Got beat there. Krastov on the offensive glass. They can't hit. 10 to go here in the half. Yaskevich just pulls right up. No one stopped the basketball. He made them pay. That's how we'll end the first half. 44-30. Lithuania finding the mojo again before half on this three by Juszkevičius.
Well, the stats are not really going to tell you the story of how the game swung one way, swung back, and then Lithuania re-established. But you can almost measure it by the, like, sometimes I don't necessarily like the old plus or minus when you're in the game, but there's a Ukrainian unit that's got a lot of plus, and there's a Ukrainian unit that has a very big minus. And they ended the game with a very big minus, and they ended up better at the half than they were at the end of the first, so they're moving in the right direction. 11 offensive boards. Just huge number of boards. 5 turnovers for Lithuania is really going to please them, because they have been a little turnover happy, and they can't be turnover happy against a team like the Ukraine that really does score off turnovers very, very efficiently. So, you know, Ukraine have now got a foothold in the game, but where were they? They were 7 down, 6 down, and they had a lineup. Maybe Pustovi should have gone back. Be interesting to see who starts the second half. And how many minutes will Valanciunas play? Because when he's the other way, when he's in the game, Lithuania are massively in the plus. When he's out of the game, almost the complete opposite scenario.
As you see a little bit of the highlights from Jonas Valanciunas, 2 numbers stuck out there. 5 assists for the Ukraine so far. That's a very low number for them, as they like to get out and move the rock a little bit and create some pace that we talked about them using in that first half. And the one thing that's keeping them involved in this game, they have been crashing the glass. They have 11 offensive rebounds. I mean, that's an insane amount.
It's against Lithuania, don't forget. You know, that's the crazy thing. I think we might have to check the stats, because they don't really have Lithuania anything down for almost hardly any offensive boards. Whereas, like, Jonas has got at least 3 or 4 on his own, of his own misses as well.
Seems that way, at least.
Yeah, well, I can't believe the only offensive rebound was him putting his own one back. I'm sure they've had something else than that. Well, we know they have, because one of those ended up in the unsportsmanlike foul. So, you know, maybe there's a little, maybe they need a little spotting going on over there.
There's that offensive rebound that you're just talking about right here.
So that's the one, and then he gets this. Is this the one? This is the spin baseline to, like, score. But there's that other one where they end up with he ends up with an offensive rebound he has no right to get, as we're going to get another replay. Looks good from the baseline.
Yeah. That definitely does look good. But on the other side of things, as they go into the locker room, it's a 14-point game. Lithuania should be happy with that margin. The Ukraine did battle back, but kind of lost it there towards the second half. So we'll see the adjustments they come out with here as we leave you with the highlights. It's 44 for Lithuania, 30 for the Ukraine. Second half on its way after this. We are here, match day 4. Lithuania leads 44-30 here in Tel Aviv. Group B action of the group phase. Carlin Gay, Mark Clark on hand as we see some of the Lithuanian supporters enjoying themselves here at halftime, and they have plenty of reason to do so. Their team up 14.
They have a great time, don't they?
Yeah, sure do.
You see them around the arena here. They're enjoying. Okay, they lost the game against Georgia earlier on, but they're still watching their national team play. They're not going to be anything but having a great time. And they're so important that every press conference, whichever player goes, with Coach Adamaitis, they always reference these guys because they are part of what you've described. Quite really, I think it's a great phrase. The green machine. These guys are putting some energy and some real impetus behind that machine, because it is really, every national team represents their country, but Lithuania represents just a little bit more than the country. It's a whole way of life, the way basketball is in that country. And Coach Adamaitis, I think, has got a group of guys who understand their roles. And even though Ukraine had a run, did they change anything? Yeah, they changed some personnel, but they're still playing Lithuanian basketball.
And that's why they're up 14 at the moment for the Ukraine. It's time now. They have a next half to prove that they deserve to book their ticket to Istanbul, along with most of the teams who will look to get to the knockout stage. No more waiting. You come to a point in a tournament, and you've been there, where you have to make the decision. Now's the time.
Well, and this is the time. You'll know everything about where their mentality is from Coach Musin about who comes out. It's easy for us. We can sit here and come out with analysis and opinion. He's the guy that's got to put his job on the line and say, but this one's a no-brainer for me. Pustovi needs to play. You said 18. He can go as long as he can. And they need to look at that lineup, and they're looking at that line. Lukashov is out there. The guys Lipovi's out there. The guys that really put a half of basketball against Georgia, that gave them momentum and gave them a win. And it's just, for the Ukrainians, you got to hope that this lineup comes out and plays with the freedom they played within the first half and in the previous game.
Here we go, Lithuania looking to make it 3 in a row here in the group phase after losing game 1 to Georgia. And the Ukraine looking to make it 2 in a row after losing their first 2. But the big win coming against Georgia that really opened the door for all teams in this group now. No team has gone without a win. Everybody with everything to play for. Pustovi right down the lane, can't hit. A rare miss from him. And here comes Lithuania trying to build on his 14-point lead. Kelnidis threw it away. And the Ukraine get another turnover. Kornienko got hit, and he'll go to the line for 2.
When they turn it over, they just look to score. And it's that was an obvious one. In fact, Kornienko is going to be very unhappy with himself that he blew it, because it was all really he sort of half-baked it. Didn't really know if he was going to lay it up, dunk it, pass it, and in the end, he was fortunate he got fouled. He's a good free throw shooter. He's had a good free throw competition so far. So hopefully it won't hurt him too much, and they will get to 12 down.
Knocks them both down, as you said. I saw the stroke, pretty pure. 12-point game. Kelnidis, Moniunis again with the floater. Valanciunas on the glass. With 3 white jerseys around him, Kornienko comes away with the swat and then gives it away. Giving it right back. Pustovi. Wow. They're playing volleyball with it at the moment.
This is the wrong, it's every case of the wrong guy, wrong place.
Yeah. Here's the right guy, right place. Valanciunas inside. Mashulis for 3. Indeed! Jonas showing that he can now pass out of the post here early on. Foul underneath. Mashulis holding on to his nose.
Let's have a look.
The foul's on him.
Are we going to miss this? Mashulis is not the purest of three-point shooters. He's one of those guys that has got a very steady manufactured free throw, perimeter jump shot. It's all technically correct, but it's all a little bit wooden, but he does make shots in big moments as well.
Here's the foul there.
It's just head on head. That can be nasty sometimes. Always the unintentional ones are often the worst. Well, but you're not expecting it.
Is holding onto his nose, and that's never good. And the way that he's getting attended to at the moment looks as, we don't want to speculate, but it looks as a broken nose.
And the thing is, like, he's a very solid, he's a hard man. You know, he doesn't lay down unless he's in a lot of pain. And he is in a lot of pain.
Excruciating pain. There you see the great Hall of Famer, Arvydas Sabonis, looking on, and we had the conversation in the first half how it seemed as though he motivated Jonas Valanciunas to get going. Take a look at it here again. Ooh, that's forehead to nose, really. No matter how big or strong you are, I might bring tears to your eyes a little bit. Valanciunas walks off. Unfortunately for him, he was the one that actually got called for the foul, and he looks worse for the wear.
He was on the hold, wasn't he? He was hanging on, trying to slow down the cut.
That's the toughest foul he'll ever have to take. Inbound for the Ukraine, 16 seconds on the shot clock. They just throw it up to Pustovi, who comes down, catches, flips it up, foul underneath. Lukashov got called for holding.
And you don't mind, if you're gonna get fouls, you don't mind those type of fouls where you're just going after it on the glass, you know, calling at that end. I don't think you're gonna get a clear view at the moment. But it's definitely, they're trying to check his vision. He's probably saying, I'm all right, I want to get back in the game. Yeah. It's just pain.
Kelnidis uses the Valanciunas screen. Grigonis on the drive. Yilnavas into the game now. Yilnavas. Pustovi came over to distract that. Ukraine come away with it. Up top! What a look by Lukashov.
And again, Pustovi down the middle just dragged Kuzminskas to the low post. Beautiful vision by Lukashov, and Kornienko flew on the weak side.
When they run, they seem to get those type of plays. Valanciunas blocked by Pustovi, but he's going to get called for the foul. Pustovi fell asleep for a second, and Valanciunas stuck behind him as we take a look at the Lukashov to Kornienko connection. Said it throughout the tournament, no matter what, the crowd makes noise when their own team gets to the foul line. Oof, that is not a good look.
Oof. But he's talking now. He's going to be talking about being ready. Now's probably not the worst moment. It's just that pain. But when it starts to swell and whatever else, it's going to be sore. But you know, they'll already be thinking about getting a mask on him or something.
Absolutely. It's a 14-point game. Lukashov driving, finds Pustovi in the lane. The floater left it short. Valanciunas comes up with the rebound. Good job by Valanciunas, just going straight up in the air. He took a shot to his left eye. So they blow the whistle. Now he's checking his nose.
And this is Pustovi. It's almost like we analyzing everything Pustovi does. Because he doesn't have that physical presence, he can't get solid and go through it. Someone like Valanciunas, so that's why it's always better to get him, giving it to him on the move. But he had to manufacture a shot there. That's not going to be a good option.
Kuzminskas for three. Valanciunas, offensive glass again. And Pustovi was called for the hold. He had a handful of either the jersey or the shorts of Valanciunas on the opposite side of the ref, but the referee still able to sniff that one out. And quickly, Pustovi picks up 2 fouls, and he'll sit. So Krastov, who had the back injury, missed the game against Georgia, back into it. Let's see if he's able to stay warm and kind of move here early on. The easy layup by Kuzminskas.
It's just a mental breakdown again by the Ukrainian defense out of bounds. They have 3 of those this afternoon. Maybe a little early for him.
Lipovic looking for Krastov. They clear the side for him. Krastov Can't get it to go over Valanciunas. Kalnidas pulls it down. No one stops him. Stops and pops, no good. Last touch, they say, by Kornienko. Will stay on this side with 14 on the clock.
So they've gone, whenever they've gone to Krabstoff on that post up where he tries to jump, he just hasn't got the physicalities to get up. But they still go there when he's on there. It's almost like, oh, okay, this is what I want. But it's just not being productive.
Kuzminskas for three, in and out. Again, Valanciunas on the glass, and the foul! A motivated Jonas Valanciunas is a dangerous man.
Number 12,
Well, he's already got his double-double. He's 17 and 11. And he looks, he's decided. This is a much more focused, much more active Valanciunas. He's been involved in games. He's had 10 and 11 points and 10 rebounds, which are great numbers in a EuroBasket. But he's playing at a different level after the day off yesterday. And he looks like he's enjoying the moment.
Looks like he's having fun out there, 18 and 10. How will the Ukraine respond? They had the big win against Georgia yesterday. Not many expected them to get that one. By trying to follow up and beat Lithuania. Can they stay involved in this game? Kornienko, nice pass, but Krabstoff was not ready for it.
I just don't see this slow down post up as a realistic option for the Ukraine. They're trying to post up a Lithuanian team with Valanciunas on a mission, and they keep going there. And the well's been dry all night, and it's still dry. It's just there's no option out of that at the post ups.
There's been plenty of options out of the post up for the Green Machine, and Valanciunas is there again, falling away. Can't get it to go.
If it had made that, we just should go home. Because that's not his game by any stretch of the imagination. You know he's feeling good if he's going to take it.
Krabstoff tried to get up there. Valanciunas hit it, and it was last touched by Lithuania, so play on. 10 on the clock, plenty of time. Again, they go to the block. Kornienko. Watched by Kuzminskas, who got the poke away. Kuzminskas out in front of everybody. Here comes the pain. Defense to offense for Kuzminskas. He had 7. Lithuania up 55-34 with 5:06 to go in the third quarter.
Well, on the back of Jonas Valanciunas, this Lithuanian team in the first part of this third quarter have just come out and said, hey, this is not happening. Which is not allowing you, Ukraine, to get into this game like you did the other night. We know you're good, we're respecting you. 1 from 7 from the three-point line. They're not going to win with that number because they're not going to get enough offensive boards with Valanciunas in the game. And it looks like Coach Adamaitis is going to leave Valanciunas in the game until it's almost over. As in, we're up 20, that's there, we can rotate now. And he's always got the insurance policy in the back pocket that says, hey, if they come back, you can go. And he is just single-handedly, he's got a lot of supporting cast, but he has dominated this to such an extent that this game has just been blown open again to a 21-point margin, an 11-4 start on the back of Jonas Valanciunas. They're going to sit him now, and Gudaitis is going to come back into the game. And this is when you've got to be a little cute from the Ukraine. You've got to get Krabstoff out and get straight back to Pastovi to get some sort of momentum.
Small lineup on the floor for Lithuania at the moment. Mishula and Gudaitis comes away with the strip and steal and hit the knee of Mishula on his way out of bounds.
And that pretty much summed. Mishula came off the screen, then hesitated, didn't know what he wanted to run. The EU hesitation's lost type phrase, but he has had a poor tournament so far.
It's Kevish. Dragonis. Kuzminskas attacking hard. Got blocked by Kornienko, but cleaning up the mess was Gudaitis. 4 for him so far. Activity defensively by the Ukraine is really high right now. Leads to a long 3, no good. Yushkevich just pulls it down. Yushkevich just thought about it. Kuzminskis goes baseline, attacking. Got bumped.
Now, there is an urgency about the Lithuania. It's almost like, yeah, we've played 3 games. We've done okay with 2 and 1. But we're going to play 2 games, then we go to the sharp end. This is almost like they're getting ready.
Yeah. Because
Kuzminskis is demanding his teammates move the ball. Their defensive effort, absolutely phenomenal in this 3rd quarter. Ukraine just can't break them down. They haven't been able to get an opportunity, and Kravtsov still stays.
Bobrov checks in. You saw him at the top of your screen, number 13 in white. Kuzminskis at the line as the Ukraine are now in the penalty with 3:52 to go in the 3rd quarter.
I think Mashuda might be done for the game. He very gingerly walked off, climbed over the barrier.
Yeah, that didn't look good at all. There you see the agony on his face. But Vichenko will check in. And Pistovi comes in for Kravtsov. Here's Bobrov. Finds Lukashov up top. Pistovi punches it in. Well, this is the lineup.
Yep.
That's a little quicker, a little more athletic, and helps them get back into games. And now is the time for them to turn it up.
Well, you got to break it up. You can't look at the 23 points, can you? You've got to look at it possession by possession. 3:33, can they end up 15, 16, whatever, with a bit of momentum? Look what Israel did. 16 points down with less than a quarter to go. But if you're 26 down, if you're 27 down, you're starting to, there's not a lot of belief there. These 3 minutes going to set the tone for the 4th quarter. They've got to give themselves a chance to get back in it.
They just have to go on some sort of run and find some momentum, as you said. Make sure that this one doesn't run away from them. Still plenty of time, as you said. We saw Israel come down from 16 down with less time than this. Vichenko. Lipovy. Inside. Nice footwork. Pistovi and 1.
It's just that little bit of difference. And Gudanis is a decent big man. But Valanciunas is a great big man. So he can do this to Kuzminskis coming to help. But when Valanciunas is in there, he just hasn't been able to get the space down low. But possession by possession, edge it back, make it a 3-point play. You're back to 22. Got a chance to get it under 20 going into the quarter break.
Yushkevich. Didis sets the screen. Here's Kuzminskis. They backed off of him for a second. I thought he was going to shoot, but he gave it up. Crossover, breaking ankles, and the 3. Yushkevich. Foul away from the basketball. As we'll see the last play surely on the replay. Didis picks up the foul.
Yeah, Gudais is struggling to cope with Pistovi. It's a little bit like role reversal now. Yeah, they've gone deep to the bench now. Benzius come in. Hasn't seen a lot of action.
Not at all. He's number 22 in green. Oh, you're seeing the defensive effort really there by Lithuania. They are showing hard on those screens. Bobrov, Pistovi taps it in. They can get some more points from somebody else other than Pistovi. They may have a chance to get back into this game. He's bringing the effort. He's leading them. 64-41, another 3.
It's almost a repeat of the way they got through the group stage 2 years ago. They had a loss, and then they rolled into some really decent level of performance and get a silver medal. I mean, this team wants to go one better. That's the way it's playing today.
Stovey, you said that's not his game, and hasn't been able to hit that. They do get the offensive board. Now up to Stovey. That's his game.
I was going to say, that's where he's good.
23 and counting for the big man.
He's got no help, though, has he, at the moment? No one's even approaching, giving him any type of support offensively. No one has more than 4 for the rest of the team. A lot of 4-point players.
10 on the shot clock. Vilnovas. Gudaitis for 2.
They're relaxed now. Gudaitis just comes. It's like a drill. Gets his feet set. In turn, square up, shoot the ball. 6 points. 100% from the field.
Kolchenko. Stovey sets the screen, then rolls. Kolchenko steps in. That's a 2 and knocks it down.
They can't trade, though. They're trading 2s for 3s quite often. And even though they've scored every time, it's leaked out to a 24-point lead.
This is a 25-point quarter right now for Lithuania. 30 seconds to go in the third. As you said, the 3s are raining down for Lithuania now.
But the last 2 or 3 have been wide open off 1 or 2 passes. This Ukrainian team energy level defensively looks like it's bottoming out here.
8 to go in the quarter. Kolchenko checks the clock. Inside the Stovey. Oh! Finishing with one hand at the buzzer. He's doing it all. Is it going to be enough? 72-47. The Ukraine trying to stay alive here in Group B.
Well, those stats, 1 from 8 from the Ukraine from the 3-point line. They had to have a perfect game. They're not having one. 40% plus for the Ukraine. And they've just got going again. They got going again because Valanciunas has just opened up the game. And all of a sudden, they're relaxed. He's inside, outside. Maciunas made that before he had the broken nose, what we think is a broken nose situation. And Kuzmiskis, because they've gone a little quicker. They haven't really used Montejunas in an extended way in any game so far. And he hasn't played a lot after the initial part of the second half. And this lineup, which is quick on the perimeter and Valanciunas on the inside, is re-established as Valanciunas will start the 4th quarter. It's almost like just put the game away. Let's put the game away. It's not, no one has to play too much time. And let's just get ready to close out this group and go to Istanbul as the #1 team.
On the other end for the Ukraine, this next 4-minute stretch is going to be huge for them. They came away with that big win yesterday. How do they respond now? Backs against the wall. They got 1 victory. Are they happy with that? Are they content with it? Or do they want to try and move on? But Vichenko for 3, no good. And Valanciunas with another board.
Didn't run a thing first time down. Stood still, end up just sticking a 3 up and hoped it's going in. But there's a pace, there's a tempo now about Lithuania where they look fairly comfortable with it.
Menzus.
He's hardly played at all. It looks like he's been out there the whole time so far. I still think they look so much better with like the more mobile 4 than going with Montejunas and Valanciunas together. They flow better, the pace of their offense is better, their defensive intensity is so much better. There are teams in this EuroBasket for the latter stages that they may have to match up and go big. And that's a great opportunity for Adomaitis to do that. But at the moment, if Valanciunas is this effective, just put some pace and some length around him. That also means Kuzminskas plays a lot of minutes, which I think is very healthy.
It's not a bad option to get an NBA player coming off the bench for your team, is it? Benzis, he's been aggressive so far. Valanciunas with another rebound and the foul.
The Ukraine are running on empty, aren't they? The energy level is just, they had to come out of a perfect game. I don't know if they have the legs. There's always a hope. But if Valanciunas makes this, it's a 30-point game.
And then you see the wave of talent that Lithuania has. They look up and see Kuzminskas check into the game.
And he's, I think Kuzminskas really, the Kuzminskas-Valanciunas combination, to me, looks their most effective one. And they keep the pace coming in off the bench. That is not anything against Valanciunas, who's a great basketball player. Maybe he becomes just the man on the inside if Valanciunas sits.
That 1-in, 4-out combination, as you said, has been their most effective. Bobrov gets pushed by Benzis. That should be an unsportsmanlike.
There was no attempt.
None at all.
See, and this is I think this is where referees struggle with this call, because it's like, oh, well, you know, maybe he wasn't going up, maybe that's not where you're interpreting. You're interpreting what the action is. And they're having a conversation about it. They can make it if they feel it was. I think they're always better talking things over and getting it right than just ignoring it. They're not going to change it unless we get a replay. Can't comment anymore.
Well, Bobrov's at the line. No protest from him. Left it short on the first attempt. Well, the last time these two teams played each other in the group stage 2 years ago, it was a close game, a 1-point game that Lithuania came away with the victory. And Lithuania, as you mentioned, was standing on the podium, not quite the gold medal that they wanted. They ended up with silver, as Valanciunas again attacking, can't finish that one. But he's so decisive.
Yeah, when he's in this mood, this wasn't the guy that played in the first 3 games, because I can't remember, you know, an extended post-up where he put it on the floor like that and just went at someone. He doesn't have to be cute, does he? He's just going to be decisive, and he's a really hard person to guard. And now he's a very solid free throw shooter. He makes more than enough that you can't just keep fouling him and sending him there, and on cue he's going to miss, obviously.
That's Kolchenko's 4th foul, as they're starting to add up here. Only 2 team fouls for Lithuania and the Ukraine here in the 4th period. So Valanciunas out of the game now. 22 big ones as he leaves. A 30-point lead for his team. Might be the last we see of him this evening.
And now they've got Valanciunas in at the 5. So I'm interested to see how they look with him, who is actually a little bit more mobile than Valanciunas, just doesn't have the physicalities.
Stovey continues to score, 27 and counting.
Well, I know the phrase "someone is carrying his team" is much overused, but in this instance, without Pustovi, this would have been embarrassing for the Ukraine, because he literally has carried them over half their points.
He's been doing it all tournament long as well. Kuzminskas, 8 to shoot. Valanciunas comes up, screen rejected, up top. They tried to alley for Kuzminskas, probably not the play they drew up. But Vachenko gives it down low. Bobrov above everybody and ripping the rim.
Well, it's, you know, 7:20 is a long, long time. It's a long, long way back.
They are capable of making a run. We have seen that. The Stovey got up in the air, and Kuzminskas drawing the foul.
I don't mind seeing this again. Reaction. It's almost a little bit, I don't think I did. Let's take a look.
Oh, he definitely got him. I heard it.
Well, only on the follow because it was the ball onto the arm.
Yeah, you're right. Bobrov's finished early on. First free throw good for the current New York Knick.
And he was always a great player at Unicaja Malaga. I always thought a little underused by Coach Plaza, and he looked like he was going to be a great, really great player. And he's gone to the NBA, and he's a much more solid individual. But he's just a smart basketball player. And anyone who can shoot with that range is just going to find someone's going to want to employ them.
Pistovi. Kick out Lukashov. They try to go inside to Pistovi, and Kuzminskas is called for the foul. Lipovi has been sitting for quite some time, but he checks back into the game now. 14 on the shot clock. There you see Lukashov hitting the bench. Lipovi will probably see some more time at the lead guard position, with Mashula on the end of the bench. Doesn't look like he's coming back into the game. Bobrov spinning away, and that's a goaltend as Maniunas went and pulled it right down out of the air. (7-7) fourth quarter. They are scoring, but they're trading buckets right now. They can't do that. Kalnidas inside, Kuzminskas.
Kalnidas penetrates, everybody moves. He has literally 4 options when he penetrates, because their movement away from the ball is just, 1, it's active, 2, it's smart.
Avichenko up top. Pistovi comes down with it instead of throwing it down, and that was a smart choice. He continues to score. Is that 29?
Yeah, he has 29.
Wow.
And the next biggest contribution comes from Bobrov, who has 5. I mean, he has 29 out of 56. Players don't come to EuroBasket to raise their stock. They come to play for their country, but Pistovi must have raised his stock.
Absolutely. Kuzminskas from the corner, in and out. Maniunas on the offensive glass, spinning both ways, kept his pivot. Can't get it to go, and another offensive rebound for Lithuania. Back out, Kuzminskas, this is a 3, indeed. Kind of looked up to the heavens saying, finally, I get one to fall from 3. Second chance points, 18-12 in favor of Lithuania. That advantage on the offensive boards that the Ukraine was enjoying is slowly going away as Lukashov, 1 and done on this end, and Kuzminskas looking to run all the way to the 10. 17 and counting for Kuzminskas, and Lithuania are rolling up big. 5:09 to go in the game.
Well, that showed you there where the energy is not. Kuzminskas is quick for a 4-man. He's not quick that he's going to run the whole team. Goes coast to coast. And doesn't even have to finish to a layup. Comes to a jump stop, finish strong. And he is, he's looking what he is. Absolute pure quality.
On the other side of things now, we can take a broader look at what's happening here in Group B. With this win, Lithuania will now have 3 in the group. That would put 1 foot on the plane to Istanbul. Take a look at some Kuzminskas highlights from this quarter. The big game yet to come. Italy and Germany up next. And then later on this evening, this gym will be rocking for Israel and Georgia.
Well, the Valanciunas-Kuzminskas combo, if you want, 39 at their points. Very good percentages, because Valanciunas never shoots it outside 4 feet normally, although he has made a lovely little turnaround at one point today. And it's just, they've got too much of everything. And they're never going to relent. They're just absolutely relentless as a team. They only know one way to play. And it's now to the beat of the fans that are into the big, deep clapping.
Kelnidis with the high floater there.
And if anyone was thinking of trying to get a flight from Tel Aviv to Istanbul, I think all the seats would have gone.
Yeah. And Machenko knocks it down. That's a 2. He's come in and looked for his shot.
Yeah, Novachenko on limited minutes. You know, he's already a 27-year-old, and Buvelnik, pretty much one of the one of the top clubs in Ukraine. He's had a very solid tournament on limited time.
There he is on the ball right now, watched by Kelnidis. Sovi sets the screen for him. Avichenko again. That one too strong. Memzis pulls the rebound down. Kelnidis will be content taking time off the clock. 3:48 to go in the game. Kelnidis driving. Malakis for 3.
Well, whoever comes in rhythm is going to shoot the ball. 91-58. We haven't had, you know, the proverbial blowout here in Tel Aviv because the group's been so competitive. But Lithuania look like they are just getting better every single game.
Another one-and-done possession for the Ukraine, and not a single white jersey was attacking the glass that time after being so aggressive in the first half. They had 11 first-half offensive rebounds. Monty Yunus touched it last. It will be Ukraine basketball. 3:04 to go.
And even Monty Yunus, who parts of today's games actually played well. But if anyone looks like they're not quite in the right rhythm for their game, it's him. If he gets to a point where he becomes very efficient, very effective, this team has got options 1 to 12. And like, so if you're waiting for someone of the quality of Montiunas, Kelnidis sits down with a double-double with his 10 and 11. If you're getting contributions across the board and then Montiunas begins to get in rhythm, you are a real contender.
Absolutely. Bobrov trying to find Lipovy. He does. Lipovy in the post, spins, air ball. Despite the wide margin, Lithuania hasn't slowed down defensively. No. They are locking up. And this crowd showing their appreciation. And it will probably grow. The supporter group here has gotten bigger every game, as you see some of them there. It'll probably grow by the time we get to Istanbul, and it might be all green, a sea of green.
Well, as crazy as it sounds, they could probably find a way to drive to Istanbul.
Yeah.
So they won't mind how long it takes. They'll be there. They've got 2 days to get there. They'll get there.
And if it's one fan base that might do it, it might be them. Zatsev for 3. 2:15 remaining in the game. Malakis for 3, no good. Gudaitis underneath. Thought he got hit. He's looking for the whistle, none coming. And another steal. Defense still continuing to pressure. They give it right back. Bobrov, this side. Savanov with the 3. Kevicius knocks down a triple.
Everywhere you look, these guys are stepping up, coming off the bench, fulfilling roles, and the Midas has to sit down. This is one of those games, very few of these games at EuroBasket where you can actually enjoy your team performing, and you've really got an unassailable margin, 32 points, and they have just dominated from that, from the point they were 6 down, 6 up, and they took out Bustovi and went a little bit bigger. From that point on, It's a scary, scary scoreline.
It really is, and they've shown the ability to hit the three. We haven't seen, that's the one thing, the one part of their game for Lithuania that we haven't seen so far in this group phase. And that's them hitting the three across the board. They've hit 12 three-pointers right now in 22 and 25 attempts. They can do that going through into the knockout phase. You're talking about getting inside contribution from Valanciunas and then kicking it outside to guys that can hit. Look out.
And the only little question mark is, are they made the threes once they've got comfortable in the game, once they've got some rhythm? Are they going to make those threes under the intense pressure of playing against a team that takes them out of what they want to run? But it's sure as hell better coming in having made threes in a game like this. They've still got a tough game tomorrow. They might need to win that game to win the group, which will give them, theoretically, give them advantage going forward.
Right.
But I think we worked out that might mean they'd play someone, or a very easy team like Greece.
Yeah. and you say that tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, oh,
Greece is no joke over in Group A. They stand here in Tel Aviv. The Lithuanian supporters making noise as they have throughout. Udaitis inside, slapped away by Kornienko. Lukashov on the drive, right to the tin. No good. Lithuania make it 3 in a row. 94-62. And right now they're in perfect position to move on to Istanbul.
Well, that's just a relentless performance. Yeah, we can talk about, there were parts of the game that Ukraine got in it, and a phenomenal performance by Artem Pustovi with his 29 points. But that green machine that you've been calling the whole way through literally played like a machine. They pushed the go button, nothing was going to change. That just shifted up a couple of gears, put the team away, everyone got into the game, no one got overplayed. That's a phenomenal performance by Lithuania. It's a performance that tells you that they are getting better every game. The exact thing you need as a tournament team. You need to be getting better, not just trying to perform. You're getting better every week, every game, and you're showing up. And Valanciunas, whatever has happened in the last 48 hours, is a man very engaged with those fans. He's the last guy off the floor. He's applauding them, they're applauding him. Statistically, 3 from 13 is never going to get it done. But 46 from the three-point line, Lithuania's best performance from there. They got to the free-throw line a lot. They did a nice job all round. Pretty much dominated the glass in many ways. 21 assists. Yeah, just...
Wow,
as a coach,
that's a big number.
As a coach, you're loving it. 29 easy shots, easy makes, only 11 turnovers. That's going to be the most pleasing stat for them in this competition today. And Valanciunas is just walking over. He's in front of a board to get interviewed, right in front of his fans that are doing this to enjoy it, to start a party. They've been partying for 3 nights.
They sure have. And they've had great reason to party. This is another one on the notch of the belt. This is the first time this kind of feels like the Lithuania team that would be standing on the podium if they get there at the end of this competition.
Well, it's definitely a message. You don't want them to peak too soon, but they are on the up.
Yeah.
So they're in great shape, and everybody's playing well.
The scenes here at Tel Aviv Arena, and here are some of the pictures. Jonas Valanciunas with a huge game. 22 points, 14 rebounds for the big-time Toronto Raptor. And Kuzminskis, the New York Knick, as you see him here, crushing the orange. 17 points off the bench as Lithuania goes on to their 3rd victory in a row with a 94-62 win over the Ukraine. We'll leave you with the pictures and be back for Game 2 a little later on.
2 points.